Well,
The number of teenage girls getting pregnant in England and Wales has fallen to its lowest level since the 1960s. 30 per 1,000 15 to 17-year-olds became pregnant in 2011. And in Scotland, which has a higher rate of underage pregnancy, there's been a similar fall. Let's talk to Gareth Cheeseman, who's a sex and relationship educator in Chester. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Does this tally with your experience?
Yes, this is right on line and in track with my experiences in Chester. We've noticed a similar decline.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's that they're still having sex but taking precautions, or are they being put off the idea of sex at that age altogether?
I think it's a combination. I think since we've made sex and relationship education more than just about the biology, we've included talking about relationships. I think more young people are taking their time and thinking and waiting, but equally we're getting much stronger uptake of contraceptive methods, particularly hormonal ones such as the implant and the pill.
Because there is that balance almost to achieve, isn't there, between good education, letting them know what's happening, but equally not to educate them too much and perhaps bring things to mind that they wouldn't have considered otherwise.
I think it would be impossible for a school educator to bring something to mind they haven't heard of before. The media, the world that we live in, is so saturated with sex that the young people are talking about it, they're thinking about it, and they're just grateful when an adult will talk to them about it honestly. Do
you think they're being more exposed to the consequences of teenage pregnancy nowadays? There are programmes on MTV and the like, aren't there, about 16 and pregnant, that kind of thing. Do you think that finally they're starting to see the repercussions of what happens?
Yeah, I think the general media awareness has helped with that. It's helped lots of young people to consider the implications of getting pregnant, and that's making a real impact on them and the decisions they're making.
It's interesting you said about sex and relationships as well, the fact that you're drawing the two together. Did you find that previously they didn't necessarily equate having sex with being in a relationship with somebody?
I think that is something which we still fight with sometimes, is something they find sex as a topic so divorced from relationships. They really struggle to understand how deeply they can be connected, and also how positive sex could be in a relationship if it happens at the correct time in life.
And what about contraception? You said that was improving as well. Is it the traditional methods? Is it things like the pill, condoms, things that they knew were there, just trying to make them more acceptable perhaps?
I think the ones which have made the big difference on the pregnancy have been the hormonal methods of the pill, and particularly the implant, because once a young person or a teenager in 17, 18 is fitted with the implant, they're not in danger of missing a pill and therefore, having an accidental, unintended pregnancy. I think they're the ones which have made the significant differences in pregnancy. But I still think we struggle to get all young people to see the value in the use of condoms.
Because, of course, if it's things like the implant, you then need to educate against, obviously, STIs as well.
Yeah, and we're finding that we're not getting the same reductions in STIs that we are getting in teenage pregnancies. The STI rates are showing little movement or any downward movement in reported rates. When I speak to clinicians, they believe it's due to less screening.
That's interesting. Thank you, Gareth. That's Gareth Cheeseman, who is a sex and relationship educator in Chester.
and finally, just to mention